Now, Bakari Sellers is a CNN pundit, and he recently went on the attack against Bernie Sanders. The attacks have begun. Now, on the anniversary of the death of Martin Luther King Jr., Bernie Sanders decided to have a little bit of a critique on the Democratic Party that Sellers just considered so out of line that he declared Bernie Sanders' 2020 campaign dead. It's dead. It's dead. In fact, here's his tweet. Y'all can defend Bernie all you want. On MLK 50, his lack of self-awareness and arrogance in dismissing 44 is wild. That, of course, number 44 is President Barack Obama. No, he says, Bernie 2020 died 4/4/18. I mean, how dare you dismiss President Obama on the anniversary of Martin Luther King Jr.'s assassination? Obama's black, you know, that you know he's black, so was MLK Jr. So, man, what a despicable racist. How dare you? How dare you go after President Barack Obama, the first black African-American president ever? What a racist. His campaign is dead. I am declaring it dead. It is dead. Well, who the fuck are you, Mr. CNN contributor? Who the fuck are you to declare anything dead? Gee, I wonder why a CNN contributor would ever be against Bernie Sanders. It's not like they're the network that would cut away from Bernie Sanders' speech and show an empty podium of Donald Trump. Oh, wait, that's what they did? Oh, that's what they did. Oh, of course. It's not like they hired a bunch of pro-Trump contributors like Ed Martin, who was fired for saying incredibly racist things against Mexicans and Muslims. Or how about Harry Huck, who would consistently blame African Americans for violent behavior. Hey, to be fair, they hired maybe a couple of Bernie people, but they also hired a ton of Hillary Clinton supporters. Gee, I wonder why CNN contributors would be so anti-Bernie. Gee, I wonder why. I can't quite tell. So now you have all these anti-Bernie Sanders people saying how this was just a terrible, terrible racist attack against Obama. Oh, I can't believe you dismissed his legacy like that. How dare you? How dare you? Now, I want to give you some actual context here by showing you what Bernie Sanders actually said. Watch.
The business model, if you like, of the Democratic Party for the last 15 years or so has been a failure. Now, what happened, people sometimes don't see that because there was a charismatic individual named Barack Obama who won the presidency in 2008 and 2012. And he was obviously an extraordinary candidate, brilliant guy. But behind that reality, over the last 10 years, Democrats have lost about 1,000 seats in state legislatures all across this country. And you got significant numbers of states, like Mississippi, where the governor, the legislature, the senators are all Republicans. Okay? Now, how does this happen at a time when the Republican agenda is the agenda of the billionaire class and is at war with working people? How does it happen that a party that wants to give tax breaks to billionaires and throw millions of people off their health insurance, they have actually wins elections? So one of the things that we have got to do, as I mentioned earlier, is make sure that the Democrats, you don't win elections unless you show up.
You don't win elections unless you show up. That's a pretty good message. It makes sense, right? And Democrats should be getting people to show up to elections by actually running on things that people want. Wow, what a concept. But of course, Sellers and a bunch of people on Donut Twitter decide, no, that was a racist attack because he decided to invoke Obama. But what he said about Obama, and you heard it, he said Obama was a charismatic individual. And he was obviously an extraordinary candidate, brilliant man. Oh my God, what a racist attack. Wait, he's praising President Obama. That's praise. Now, his criticism comes in, of course, when he says that under President Obama, during his presidency, Democrats lost over 1,000 seats. Is that not true? Did that not happen? I didn't realize we were living under a Democratic supermajority. Oh, right, we're not. Well, then I guess that is true if you actually believe in facts. If you actually believe in that. Look, what he's saying is that, look, a lot of people basically tuned out during President Obama's tenure. And that, look, while Obama was a great candidate and a brilliant man and very charismatic, that wasn't enough to stop the Democratic Party from losing so many seats. Why? It's because the Democrats weren't running on a good economic platform. They weren't running on any sort of economic platform. I mean, look, when President Obama first, like, on the minimum wage, for example, oh, let's go to 10.10. Okay, maybe let's go to $12 an hour. Okay, you're twisting my arm. Maybe we'll go to $15 an hour someday. That's not a strong economic platform. That's not being strong on anything. Neither is wanting to cut Social Security, which, by the way, centrist Democrats love to bring this up. How dare Bernie Sanders in 2012 say he wanted to primary Obama? What a traitor to the Democratic Party. What a racist. I can't believe he would say he would go and primary Obama. That's to push him left. That's to push him left so that he doesn't cut Social Security in a grand bargain with the Republicans. This is all true. This is all true. And look, again, the Democrats should have ran on a better platform. Look, for example, on healthcare. Sure, we got the ACA, and maybe it's a foundation, it's a step, right? Now, what it also is, it's a heritage foundation plan that was crafted by Mitt Romney, or in part crafted and put into place in Massachusetts by Mitt Romney. Now, the ACA is for-profit private healthcare, which, of course, is naturally not universal healthcare. It's actually going to leave people out. And it's, look, not going to eliminate rising premiums. Yes, it has slowed down premiums. There are good things and there are bad things about the ACA. But it is not single payer, which, by the way, is now incredibly popular. A majority of the American people want a single payer plan. The policy positions that Bernie Sanders has ran on and has been consistent on for a very long time are policies that are popular with the majority of the American people. That is why he is the most popular politician in America. Now, another reason, of course, is that he has been for these policies for decades and decades. But if you don't run on popular policies, if you don't run on anything, how are you expected to win seats? That's the Democrats have lost seats because they had no vision. It's just, I don't know, look, Obama. Obama's great. The Republicans suck. And, okay, give people a reason to get out and vote. Because Republican voters are incredibly motivated, especially when they're not in power. Democratic voters, unfortunately, as he was pointing out, they tuned out, they fell asleep. And look, Bernie's point, his entire point of this whole thing was get out there, get involved, go out and vote, get involved in the political system. Don't just vote in somebody who's, yes, charismatic and a brilliant politician and expect them to solve all your problems while you go to sleep for 8 years. And that's unfortunately what happened with the Democrats. I'm sorry, there's a lot of great activists that are active during the Obama administration that did a lot of great work to try to push him on good positions, and I love that. But I think a majority of Democrats fell asleep. And they woke up and suddenly we have Trump. How the fuck did that happen? It must have been the Russians. It must have been Bernie Sanders. How dare he? No. Hillary Clinton. Look, let me talk about Hillary Clinton and African Americans. Hillary Clinton failed to get the Obama coalition. Obama, again, brilliant politician. He championed progressive values. He ran on progressive values. And he got that gigantic coalition of people. Hillary Clinton could not replicate that. And she was less popular than Donald Trump. Think about that. Think about how bad you have to do. How badly how bad your image is. And look, some of that's not her fault. Some of it is definitely her fault on how bad her image is. It was a mistake to run her in the first place. But hey, look, more Democrats, they voted for her in the primaries, as centrists love to point out. So I guess you get what you get. And unfortunately, we got Donald Trump, and we're all suffering for it. But look, here's the thing. If you want progressive policy, then you've got to pay attention. You got to put pressures on politicians. If you want to win elections, you got to get involved, or else you end up losing seats. And that is not what we need to do. Everything that Bernie Sanders said was absolutely true. And here you have these establishment hacks. They know it's true, and they don't have any real arguments against it. So they want to play identity politics. Look, Sanders, as I said before, he's the most popular politician in America, and he's also incredibly popular, 73%, among African-American voters. He's also popular with Hispanics, popular with women. You know the group that he is least popular with? White men. People like me. The least popular. But you know why he's so popular? It's not because he's a, put together politician or has great hair and has just this charismatic speaking voice. No, he's popular because he's consistent. He has fought for these very same policies for decades. That's why people like him. And more importantly, that's why people actually trust him. Now, the establishment cannot wrap their hands around. They're like, we got to get somebody younger. We got to get somebody new. We got to get new blood that says the same old things, that does the same old tired neoliberal policies. But that'll win over the millennials. No, it won't. And then, of course, when that doesn't work, then they go to the smears. What a racist. I mean, come on. Let me show you something here that I think might help with that. To show you his consistency. And to show you, of course, that he's absolutely not a racist. Watch. Let's go. That appears to be Bernie Sanders chained to a young African-American woman. So he's saying that, hey, man, look, if you want to arrest her, well, then you're going to have to arrest me too. So what happened? They arrested him too. Look, man, he's been fighting for social justice for decades. Fighting against racism, fighting for universal health care, fighting for free college. He's been fighting the same fight for decades. But establishment hacks on CNN, they still want to call him a racist. Why? It's because ultimately he wants to change the system. He wants to shake up the status quo. And those people who are already on top, hey man, look, I'm rich. The status quo is working out great for me. I'm rich. I'm doing fantastic. Why would I ever want to change the system? It's because the system isn't working for a majority of Americans. And Bernie Sanders is one of the few people that are out there actually talking about that. And through his campaign in 2016, he got a lot of other people talking about it too. So now there's a lot of younger progressives that are out there that are talking about the very same issues. And that's exactly how you win elections. So, look, these attacks, these smears, they're not going to stop. They're going to continue. They're going to ramp up in intensity, and they're just going to get worse and worse. But I think at the end of the day, this is not going to work. Because at the end of the day, people know better. They know the truth, and they don't trust the establishment media to give them that truth. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent progressive media, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/TYTNation.